All right, man. So typically, the beginning of the show is where I would try to say something a little funny, right? Like I might say something like, "Welcome to another episode of What Has Lecrae Done This Week," but I'm not doing that tonight, y'all. It's not happening. All right. Instead, I've got something very serious to talk about that we heard. So there was a story that I'm sure that all of you have seen. It's been making the rounds. It's everywhere. And the rest of the guys, they were like, "Yo, we got to talk about this." And I held off as long as I could. All right. But when I finally went in and watched the video, there was something that was said that I was like, "Yo, that is gonna fly under the radar. It's gonna get covered up by all the other stuff that is being said here." But I felt like it was something that needed to be addressed. Excuse me. So I want to start though by reading Ephesians chapter 5, verses 6 through 14. All right, because this is kind of the basis of what I wanted to say. It says, "Let no one deceive you with empty arguments, for God's wrath is coming on the disobedient because of these things. Therefore, do not become their partners. For you were once in darkness, and now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light, for the fruit of the light consists of all goodness, righteousness, and truth, testing what is pleasing to the Lord. Don't participate in the fruitless works of darkness, but instead expose them, for it is shameful even to mention what is done by them in secret. Everything exposed by the light is made visible, for what makes everything visible is light. Therefore, it is said, 'Get up, sleeper, and rise up from the dead, and Christ will shine on you.'" So, if you were watching the video, which we're going to get into, all the other details, right? But you watch the video of Lecrae talking about going to Diddy parties, right? There's a lot there. There's a whole lot there. But one thing that he said, the comment that was made, I'm going to read it word for word so you know where I'm going with this, is how are you going to be light if you're never in the dark? And I'm here to tell you, man, and guys, you can weigh in, but let me say what I want to say here. But that is false. That is not an accurate statement at all. Okay? You do not have to be in the dark in order to be light. Light is not reliant upon darkness to exist, to do its job. Okay. And you can go through the scripture and you can try to find something that convinces me otherwise. I don't think you're going to do it because I've got a whole page of stuff listed here for you. For example, let's start at the very beginning, right? God saw that light was good and God separated the light from the darkness. So that's the start of it, right? And Luke, it tells us, "Take care then that the light in you is not darkness. If therefore your whole body is full of light, with no part of it in darkness, it will be entirely illuminated as when a lamp shines its light on you." Listen, I can turn a light on at high noon on the day with the clearest blue sky you've ever seen, and it's still going to shine. It's still going to be a light. Again, light does not require darkness. And anyone that tells you you have to go and be in the darkness to be a light, it's false. It's simply false, because if you find yourself in darkness, guess what? You're not a light anymore, because the darkness can't exist where there's light. The darkness is reliant on the absence of light in order to be there. So this was something, like I said, that I feel like was slipped into this video that a lot of people aren't going to catch, but the ones who do, man, it can be really damaging. It was my was what I walked away with, especially if you're a newer believer, a younger believer who's trying to figure this whole thing out. We hear it all the time, right? We hear people say, "Oh, well, we got to go to these dark places." Guess what? There's nowhere in scripture where it says we got to go to dark places. It says to be a light. Why? Me and Zero were talking the other night. Why do we got to be a light? Because the people that are in darkness can see that light and they can go towards it. They can move away and find their way out of the darkness. We do not have to be in dark places in order to shine. Okay? I know we've got a lot more to talk about here, so I don't want to rant. I'm going to make sure that my guys here get a chance to, weigh in on it. Or actually, before we do intros, guys, I'm going to open it up. Do you guys want to respond to any of that? Am I off base? Crazy? What do you think?
You're not
I think
crazy.
it's a brilliant kickoff to today's conversation.
Agree. The one thing I'll say is this, and let everybody else kind of chime in. Yeah, I love the point that you made. Here's the thing, though, and here's what we don't realize, because unfortunately, and again, it's really it's bad motivation that we try to poorly dress up in Scripture. When we say, I'm going to hang out with these people, I'm going to go to these places because I'm going to go with the intentions of witnessing to them. I'm going to minister to them, and I'm going to change their lives. I'm going to be a conduit for God in the midst of the worst places that you could ever think of. Now, mind you, just bear in mind, you have a hard time changing people's mind with a conversation when there's level playing field and we're in neutral territory. You have a tough enough time changing a heart or a mind in those settings. So you're going to go now onto the enemy's turf, and you're not coming in white robes. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like you're coming in and you're assimilating and you're doing effectively you don't have to do what all of what everybody else is doing in order to be tied to what they're doing. If you're tied to a part of it, you're connected to all of it. Paul said, if you offend in one part, if you break the law in one area, you've broken the entire thing. So you can't piecemeal this whole thing. And we really have to understand this. But the point that I want to get to, and then I'm going to be quiet, we try to put levels of darkness, and we try to make evangelism and witnessing like this grand event. Don't you realize that, like, if you go to work and your job is not a Christian company and it's not ran or based on or operated in Christian principles, that it's a dark place? The grocery store that you go to is full of a ton of folks who are sinners. Like, that's not enough darkness for you. Like, if you're not witnessing and being a light in those scenarios and those everyday settings, this is why we're supposed to live this life. Then why is it that you need some grand event to go and show people Jesus when you're not doing it in your everyday? It's like the folks who want to be called to the nations who but refuse to go to the neighborhood. Like, I don't understand that you cannot, you got to be faithful of a few things to be made ruler over many. It doesn't work the other way around.
Anyone else before we move on, man?
I think
just like following up with what Katie said. I wanted to point in John.
Let's get one of our guests to jump in here.
Yeah. Well, give me 1 second. I'm just I'm gonna throw it to Joe, man, because in John 8, though, it says Jesus spoke to them again. I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will never, doesn't say sometimes, it says never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I just think this is becoming a classic excuse in Christian circles that you use evangelism as an effort to justify you being present in environments that you should be separate from. It's a convenient excuse, and it's an excuse because it doesn't apply in other situations. If I went, hopefully I don't get in trouble for using this as an example, but if I go to a KKK rally and I say, I'm going to go there and preach the gospel, it doesn't matter. I'm there and I'm partaking of the environment and atmosphere in that kind of a place. If I go to a rally, my goodness, bring it into like more modern convenience, something that's also very controversial. I mean, some people, if you go to like a Trump rally or something like that, you are demonized as belonging to a certain group or ideology of people. And so I promise you, some of these people are using evangelism as an excuse. You're not going to catch you in any environment like that. It's only a convenient reason for an environment that they choose to be in. But then when they wouldn't be in another environment that is usually demonized by the left, this is normally what happens. It's normally an environment that's demonized by the left that these people would avoid, but be willing to go somewhere that's not. Well, then you start picking and choosing what's more serious of an environment than another. Then you start picking and choosing, well, this environment is okay for me to partake in, but this environment is not. We're meant to be separate from all of them as a Christian. It's one thing if I'm going to that place and I'm standing outside the doorway preaching verbally and I'm saying, this is not of God. I'm passing out flyers. I'm inviting people to church. That's one thing. And if that's what's happening in an environment like this, hallelujah, praise God, go do it. Billy Sunday used to go to bars to invite people to church and to lead souls to Christ. Praise God. But I don't think that that's what's happening. I don't think that these people are stepping up on a stage saying, this is not of God. That's not what's happening. So I think the argument that's happening here is that by these people's mere presence, they are emanating the grace of God or evangelism by their mere presence. Like, are you actually using the environment to preach the gospel? Like I said, standing at the doorway, preaching, telling people. But I don't think that's what's happening. So it comes across as kind of a convenient excuse to justify behavior. That's what I observe from the outside.
Happy
Jay?
Black History Month, everybody, by the way.
Except for me and Joe, right? Because that's what we say, right?
Well, I mean, just you can say it at the rally when you go.
Okay. I've heard that some places.
I mean, you don't have to go in. You stand at the door, as people are going in, and you let them know that way.
Man,
I love that analogy because it shows the absurdity. Like the club is okay, but the KKK rally isn't. Like they're both dark places, right? Like it works because it's so brutal of an example.
Yeah, man. Let's kick this thing off, man. Welcome to another episode of 520 iXc, man. We're gonna jump in and meet everybody. Starting with my man Katie. What's up, Katie?
Yo, grand lowering to all my woke peoples out there. Happy Monday nights. It is going to be a fantastic time tonight, I promise. So don't tune out too quick, man. Happy to have y'all with us tonight.
Yeah, man. Zero
for hire here. You guys can follow me on Substack or on Twitter at Zero for Hire. Always happy to be here. Always looking for these great conversations. Although this week I haven't been very present in conversation because I've been playing Pal World since the last, we got it like 3 days ago. That's like all we've been doing. That game is crazy addictive. Like, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't be like me.
We'll try. Man, we got Joe here for the second week in a row.
Yeah, making it 2 in a row. How's it going, everybody? I am Joseph, aka Joe Fay. I run the YouTube channel Mocking Series Studios, where we talk about Christian movies and video games, entertainment from a Christ culture. Then I also have another YouTube channel called Joe Fay, which I don't actually know what I'm doing with that channel. I just kind of make videos and stuff happens. So go check them out.
Awesome. And we got a special guest with us tonight, man. About time. We got to make this like a regular thing, man. We got to put it on the calendar, get a rotation going, something, Jay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on. My name is Jay. I'm one of the co-hosts at That's Not Christian. And shout out to everybody that's viewing on our channel and also on Instagram. So shout out to you. This is a dual stream. So our audio only listeners might get a little bit confused about what's going on, but just know that we're streaming on 520 channel and our channel. So crazy intro. Definitely something totally
I'm
different
sorry
than
about
what
the KKK joke now.
what we're used to. But yeah, I think it's a good combo to have, and different perspectives and everything. So yeah, thanks for having me on. I will say this, since we're already on the subject. We talked about this on our show last week, but I think when you watch the video, you can kind of see that Cray and these parties, and even though he was given kind of like the warning of like, hey, after 1 o'clock, like you shouldn't be here, because things get totally different, right? It just seemed like perhaps he was looking to like, okay, what does happen like at 1 a.m. In these type of parties, right? And that's where I kind of like draw the line in, like, you got a warning. I think for me, right, if somebody told me, hey, after 1 you got to bounce or you shouldn't be here, I'm out, right? Because obviously, for someone to tell me that, it means number one, they kind of understand, what I'm about, and they know that I'm probably not gonna. Number one, that it's probably not safe for me to be there, or two, it's not something that they know that I'm about or representing or something like that. So I don't know what you guys think about that, or if you guys saw his I guess segment or clip of the whole Diddy thing.
Yeah, man, we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna jump into it here in just a moment. But I do see we've got your partner in crime
Oh,
on board with us.
What's
So,
poppin'?
And another one.
What's going on,
man. What up,
everybody?
Jimmy?
Yo, thank you
You
for
look
having me,
gorgeous,
man.
man.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You want to introduce
us.
to the people?
Yeah, my name is Jimmy, co-host of That's Not Christian podcast, one of the original founding members. You know what I mean? Along with Jay. We're here to show y'all some support.
Appreciate you.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
the
we
thing,
appreciate
Jimmy,
it,
that
for real.
is amazing about having you and Jay here is that
Mhm.
we need to, like I was saying, we need to schedule this on a regular basis, but we need to make sure it's on a night when Switch can't roll through. Like, let's Switch. I'm just kidding. I love
Bro,
you,
I could
Switch.
have took the night off and then we would have been good.
Right. So
That's funny.
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And I am Eric Boston. You guys heard my rant. Hit me up on Twitter, or not Twitter, X. Hit me up on X at Eric Boston 3 if you want to tell me
Twitter.
just how wrong I am. But I can tell you this. Before I was telling you guys, hey, I may be disagreeing with Lecrae on some stuff, but I still hold out hope. And I still hold out that same hope for him, right? That he can really step up and make an amazing impact in the position he's in. But with this that I opened the show with tonight, it's not that I disagree with him. I flat out think he's wrong. Okay. So I'm just gonna make that clear for you. But yeah, man, welcome to another episode of 520 iXc. Again, we are still on our road to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Tell other people about us. We would love for you to help us. We're at 455 subscribers right now, trying to get to 500. So you can help us do that. But man, I definitely see people watching, man. So let us know in the chat wherever you are. Where are you watching from? Love to know where
you're watching.
what platforms people are watching, all that good stuff, man. But let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, shout out to Nectar Distro for sponsoring tonight's episode. Let me pull this up so you can see it. I should probably get this out of the way. Dude, I got so much stuff to do here. It's hard. Nectar Distro, if you're an artist and you're looking to get your music out to all the major platforms, they can do it for you. Not only that, but they are run by the team at Trackstars. So yeah, Christian brothers helping you out there. So go to 520collect.com/nectar now to get set up on that. But yeah, so we've already been teasing it a lot here from the beginning. So let's just jump into it, fellas. Just jump into it. We've got Diddy parties, and Lecrae is well, he's been to a couple. Didn't give us an actual number, but a couple. So KD.
So there's one thing I do want to.
What? Go ahead, Zero.
Go ahead.
I don't have to give it to KD.
Well, because I know you and I had a little bit of a disagreement when we talked earlier. So I wanted to throw that out in the front and see if I can gain some support from the other members of the team. But no, I feel like he's using Diddy parties as a euphemism, meaning just wild celebrity parties. Like, I don't think they're like specifically at all at
no,
Diddy's
he was
house
talking about how
because
he
of
was
this.
parties.
He talked
hosted,
about a
bro.
couple, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I don't want to say the
There's
couch
food
because I
parties.
don't want to let anybody know whose house it was, and to me that said that it was being used as a euphemism, but still part of that same group. So I don't think this is just Diddy. I think this is like at a
Well, he said he went to
a
parties
circle of
with
people's houses.
He said he went to Snoop's parties. He went to T.I. He went to who else did he say? Jamie Foxx.
Foxx, right?
But he said he went to a couple, and I want to know what a couple means because I don't believe it's two.
Yeah, specifically
Diddy's
a couple
under the
Diddy
spotlight,
parties.
or just because he's in the hot seat, don't mean that the other dude should get off the hook. Like, this is common in the hip hop scene. This is common in celebrity parties. What we're about to talk about.
They're not off the hook though.
And I
Like,
got some crazy network issues here.
Well, where do you want to start it, KD? Let's jump into it, man. Because I mean, I don't want to just be the one talking here tonight. I guess I probably could.
you could, bro, because you got a lot to say about it, man. But there's a lot of issues. Like you could break the video down from start to finish, and you could go line by line for what he says and pull a scripture to contradict what he says. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole breakdown of Psalm 1 to start it was bad. And
Yeah,
but I'm gonna
talk
say this
about
part.
that for a second.
Yeah, this
yeah.
part was telling though, the beginning, right? So he's like, I'm gonna say this. I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Now, mind you, he ain't concerned about career, brand, none of that. Okay, because no, this isn't just a euphemism. He could have used it like that if he wanted to, but he's not specific. Like, yo, I've been to a couple of Diddy parties. He didn't try to make it seem like, well, it ain't what everybody talk about. He didn't say that. He said Diddy parties. And when you say Diddy parties, now, because of what's in the news, then you assume that this is what happens and goes on at these spots. First of all, I don't want to be associated with that. But that's not the
Yep.
route he took, right? He's like, and forget my career, dog. Look, I done been in these spots, and what? What was telling to me at the beginning was the fact that he said, I shouldn't say this for two reasons. One, because y'all gonna be like, if I tell y'all I've been here and there's some evil stuff going on, y'all gonna be like, yeah, expose him. And two, if I don't say anything, then you say that I'm trying to cover up for him, et cetera, et cetera. Nowhere in there was any concern about anybody in the Christian space being concerned about his salvation for his attendance. That was not mentioned at all whatsoever. That to me is very telling, because at the end of the day, now we're saying, I don't care about what y'all got to say about it. People gonna want me to talk about it, gets dropped specifics, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not concerned about people questioning my stance or my position. I'm more concerned about what y'all gonna think one way or the other, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. That to me was very telling, and it continues that trend throughout the rest of that video.
Well, and you hit it
Mm-hmm.
there, because he was acting like, oh, I shouldn't expose what was happening, bro. The scripture I just read from Ephesians tells us that we're supposed to expose that evil,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I got a question about, so, and excuse me for being ignorant on this, but did someone expose him and he was responding to it, or did he just feel like he needed to make a video talking about his personal life?
Volunteered the information.
Yeah, he was on a
then that-
podcast. Anytime you get somebody on a podcast, they do this every single. It don't matter who it is. They do it every time. Put them on a podcast. They just go tell them everything.
It was his podcast.
Well, that, yeah, it
though.
makes
So it wasn't
even
like
less.
it wasn't like anybody was
sense in that
interrogating him.
case. So he chose to present this.
He was just singing. He
All right.
was singing.
Well, and also,
You don't want him to be a co-defendant. You don't want him to be a co-defendant. He was singing.
Yeah.
well, prior to that, he was reacting to a video of a different podcast where they were talking about the whole Diddy parties and everything like that. And then he decided to bring in, his experience into that.
But here's what's funny. So KD talked about him mentioning Psalm 1:1 out the gate, right? And just so for those who maybe don't know what it says, how happy is the one who does not walk in the advice of the wicked, or stand in the pathway with sinners, or sit in the company of mockers. What's hilarious is everything that says, he was like doing the opposite of it by being there.
He probably didn't have that fancy
Like,
modern
dude,
version.
This verse
of
is
the
not helping your
scriptures that you got.
cause.
No, but he tried to break it down and try to seem a little deep with it, and he kind of caught himself in his own words.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you were about to say something, man. What did you have? I cut you. I'm sorry, man. I'm a terrible person.
I forgot what I was saying then, but I
Jump
think
in
I
there.
was just
No,
reading-
jump
I
in.
think-
Please jump in.
I think he was just reading out of the Queen Jane translation or something.
Joe, I love you, man, for real, bro.
But
I think what I was gonna say
all this
originally was or Z-Rick can go first. I'll go. I think what I was gonna say is, like, even if you're doing something that you should know is wrong, there's like I used to see this like in movies or and so forth. Like this parent would do something absolutely horrible and he wouldn't tell his kids. Why? Because he didn't want his kids to know the type of person that he was. And he didn't want his kids to be exposed to that type of stuff. There's almost like a certain element, even if you're doing something you should know is wrong, I feel like you should have the common sense to know somebody else might be negatively affected by this knowledge. Somebody else might be encouraged to engage in similar behavior. So, I mean, the last thing I want to do is bash Lecrae, but to me, that's just like a lack of a sense of actually understanding the audience that you have and the amount of reverence people actually place on who you are, that they would probably imitate what you're doing.
Yeah, I remember Eric saying either last week or the week before, like, read the room, dude. Like, I don't know if it's he can't read the room or if it's sort of it's like HH bandwagon, and so you kind of get that picture of Jack Sparrow on the crow's nest of the ship as it's sinking, and then now he's just ready to step off. Like, it's already going down.
Well, I want to just make sure we talk about we not bashing Lecrae, but because he brought certain things up that have to be addressed. Again, remember, our goal is to have these conversations and build Bible Christians, build stronger people who are stronger in the faith, more resolved, resolute, able to do, you know what I'm saying, like what it is that God called for us to do, and to come out and to say these things. And so that's why it's important that we talk about things that were actually said, not make assumptions, but address actual words. I'm glad that he said it. And it's not something that somebody is saying secondhand, something we got to make up, because then you fishing and then you're actually judging and then it becomes problematic. But we have to address stuff like that because there's a ton of people who think this way. There's a ton of people who think that this stuff is okay. And even to Joe's point, you got an audience and you got a platform. And so for you to just volunteer and come out with this stuff and make it seem like it's not a big deal, that's a problem. And trust and believe, God has a problem with that, man. It's very wild. It's very prideful. It's very irresponsible when you're not considering. Paul said, if eating meat offend your brother, dog, don't eat meat around him. I'm not telling you be a vegan or a vegetarian, dog, but eat meat after he goes to the crib, because you're not trying to destroy wherever his faith is or isn't. You have to consider other people. We're not supposed to be a stumbling block or an occasion for our brothers to fall. That is something that God has a serious problem with.
Well, and I'll say this, man. Like, if he had come out and just said, "Hey, I went to like a singular Diddy party," I could almost give him a pass, man. Like, if you get there, you know, he talks about it. I went there to network, etc. Right. So if you're looking at it as that, cool. Maybe, you know, you get there, you see what's happening, you leave, and you don't go back, right? But instead, he returned, and I think that's where I have the biggest issue is like and we don't know how many times we return. You know, and I'm not trying to judge that, but dude, don't put yourself in those environments, in those situations, because he talked about in the video, like, yo, there's people there that they're gonna test your limits, they're gonna push you, they're gonna see how far, and I don't know how you convince yourself that this is a place I need to be. If they're gonna test you and see how far they can get you to go,
Why?
right? He did the whole talk about, oh, you stand, you sit, blah, blah, all this stuff, right? Why would you put yourself in that situation? You know, I know Bree's in the chat, you know, asking kind of the stance. You know, is it wrong to go to a networking event? No, but I mean, I guess the question is it wise to be at certain networking events if
they're doing more than networking?
If you're trying to do this in one lane, you know, what's more important?
Apparently they were doing more than networking after 1 o'clock. That's the
right.
12:30.
Exactly.
We didn't even get to 1. We got to 12:30.
Yeah, and we're not, and I don't think any of us are assuming that he's partaking in that wickedness, but
Nah, I didn't get
that was a
impression at
follow
all.
up that Bree had here in the chat. You know, are we assuming that he was partaking? I don't think it's that. I would love to be able to say that, you know, I want to take him at his word, and I try to do that. However, just being in those situations, at the very least, hurts your your testimony, hurts your witness, at the very least, right? Or you got to understand why it would throw question marks on what you're trying to do. So, Jay, you've been quiet, man.
He's always quiet.
No, just telling you guys, say what you got to say. But like I said before, I think the whole thing with after 1 a.m. or 12:30, whatever the case happened, right? That's my cue to be like, all right, I'm out, right? I'm not gonna stay around, for any of the other stuff. And now, granted, he did say on the video, right, that when they told him that, he was like, well, I'm not a little kid, or what you mean, stuff like that.
That
That could have
was
been the first or second time, right? But still, I don't know. I feel like, again, if somebody come to me and be like, "Yo, after one, like it ain't gonna be,"
that was a telling statement, Jay. Like when
that
he's
was
like,
pretty.
"Oh,
Pretty
I'm
crazy.
not some church boy." Like,
Yeah.
what are you
Well,
trying to prove right now?
but I say, like, maybe he was very naive in that he didn't think what was gonna happen. What he saw after was gonna occur, right? Because we can maybe say that, right? If it was the first time, now if this was the second or third time, then all right, then there's bigger issues, I think.
Right.
Yeah, being a repeat offender is definitely an issue because now that you get a feel for what happens and you continue to go back, like, oh, I'm gonna make it out unscathed, fam. You're not coming back clean because it's just that type of thing, and we don't put enough emphasis on the spiritual part of it. We think we got enough Holy Spirit in us to go into those settings. Like, it's different being sent somewhere than it is just going somewhere. That's the difference between a grace that's going with you because you being obedient to God versus the Holy Spirit ain't going with you with certain stuff, bro. Like, I didn't send you in here. So because I didn't send you here, I'm not going in here. Why would I put you on the spot where you finna come across just some random dudes, man, going hard and heavy, quote unquote, on whatever this couch is? You know what I'm saying?
Pause.
Like, yo, like for real?
Yeah.
Like the Holy Spirit don't mind you taking that in? Like, dog, like you not finna be scarred by that? Dude,
And
I get offended by commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not finna enliven and live in color. Like, nah, dog, that's not the way.
and obviously, we're inferring from him, you know, this retelling of the events on his podcast, right? But like even with that, like when he talks about coming up the stairs and that's what he's seeing, it came across as very much like, oh wow, look at that, bro. I'm just saying, I walk up the stairs and that's the first thing I see. I can't run fast anymore, dude. My hamstrings will die, but I'm running as fast as I can. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out.
Dog.
Okay.
Jimmy, you ever been to any of these kind
Can
of
I
parties?
say something? I got to stop beating around the bush here.
Well, yeah.
I guess I was hoping Jimmy would answer my
Did you just
question,
ask
but
Jimmy if
whatever.
he ever
Zero.
been to a
Let's
Diddy
just do
party?
what you want to do, Zero.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No,
What's that about,
my network
man?
is probably a second behind you. Go ahead.
Yo, pause, man. What you mean?
I want to hear about the Diddy party.
Yeah, what you mean, bro? What make you think? What make you think that what I mean? I be at a Diddy party. Hold up,
No,
man.
Bro, you
wondering
live in
What
Calabasas,
what
your
give
neighbors.
you that
I'm just
impression,
kidding.
man? Hold up. Like what kind of vibes am
I'm
I
not saying that you
exuding
did.
out here? You know what I'm saying? Like what kind of
I'm just wondering because I mean you have a much higher profile than I do, so you probably get invited to places that I don't.
nah,
You know what I'm saying?
nah,
Look
definitely,
at you and look
definitely
at me.
not. You know
Think about
what? Like the crazy thing is that like I feel like people have been knowing or suspecting what goes on at these parties, right, for a long time, especially when it comes to Diddy, right? There's been rumors about that sort of stuff for a very long time. Um, so I'm not surprised that he saw that. He saw what he saw there. You know what I mean? But like he really saw it though. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really there. Like I don't know, man. And then and I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like maybe the first time you go to the party and it's just a party, right? You didn't stay too late because maybe you didn't have a babysitter for that long, and so you left early, and so maybe the next party you're like, oh snap, like you see what happens, but after that, dog, you know what I mean? Like that's on you, like that's I don't know. I really don't know how what the timeline is. If he was retelling the story of the first time he went out of the couple of times. Like I feel like that would have been my last time. Like, wait,
Oh,
hold
You would
up.
hope.
You know what I mean?
You would hope.
Like
man.
we only networking during business hours, bro. We're not doing this
at the office, fam.
You know what I
At
mean?
the office, at the conference room table. Like, yo, everybody got clothes on, right? All right, let's talk business.
Well, and that
Can I
was
thicken the sauce
I
here?
think it's very clear by what he said. I mean, because the very first thing he mentions, as far as reasons for being there, was that he was there to network. That he was there for
Partly. He didn't say I only went to network. He said one of the reasons. Well, you have to go to certain of these events to network. This is where relationships are built. He did not say I only went to network. I partly went. Then he started explaining his rationale behind the reason why. So he wasn't just saying I only went to network. That was a part of, and he stopped himself from saying certain things. You got to read the room.
But I think that's where he went wrong. He lied, and he wants us to believe this lie that he's just there to network. And like, I don't buy the whole light and dark places crap from anybody anymore, because from Lecrae is my age, right? It's not if he was 26-year-old, hadn't really been around, 23-year-old rapper just getting into the scene, maybe I would buy a little bit of the I'm just a light in the dark place. Bro, you there to network, you want to meet people, you got stars in your eyes, and this is the only way you can get into them parties. I get it. Also, I don't know about y'all, I like to go to parties. Now, this was before the whole Diddy parties became a title thing. I don't go to orgies, I don't go to weed parties, but like there is a basic understanding when you go to parties. You can go there, you can meet some people, you can hang out, you can have a good time. Parties are fun. But then parties get weird. And if you don't get out before parties get weird, then you're on the Diddy party show. And that's when stuff starts getting you in the headlines. So like I feel like I want to defend just the idea. I don't like every party ain't a Diddy party. Every party ain't all that. But most parties, especially in the secular world, there is like a little threshold where it's like it's a party, and then it's weird, and then like they're doing too much, and you want to get out of there before you doing too much, especially if you around some people that oh, they finna go out to the shed, and okay, I gotta go. They finna get weird. Like if you've been to enough parties, you know when it's coming. Am I the only one?
You're the only sinner here. Yeah.
I'm glad you said something.
Throw the first stone. Throw the first stone, man. Let me have it. Man, graduation party, barbecue, having people. We call it different stuff, and even
Right.
like saying he's
I
going to
think
network.
Right.
Yeah, but if you can't control the environment, dog, like if it's not yours, then you're subject to whoever is having it.
Before
You're
it gets weird.
You under them. If it's not your function, you're subject to whoever is running it and whatever they got going on. It's not wise, dog. Now, if you were saying I invited these cats to my crib and they came over and I had the 116 DJ in the background and he was spinning the CHH hits and we sat there and we had fruit punch in our red cups, like if that's what you're talking about, then that's different, bro.
No. So like
I went to so
if
and
I show up
spot.
and there's a DJ, I'm like, I don't know, because that's a party, then you know where it's going. That's what I'm saying. Like some basic discernment. Like you got to listen to the track to get some advice or what you think about this, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gonna fault nobody for that. But you show up, they got red cups and a DJ, bro. You know what's finna happen. Why are you there?
So somebody
it's gonna get weird.
Over with.
But
especially in Hollywood.
But you talked about the younger artists, right? And that's the thing that jumped out to me too is that, like, man, at this point, it's not just a generation, it is multiple generations of Christian rappers that are trying to walk in the steps of Lecrae. And this is the message, and this is what we're saying. This is how you make it happen. No, dude, we don't need to be in those places. We are not told to be in those places. We're told to be apart from those environments, man. I mean, like I said, I tried. I've got a whole document full of scriptures here talking about light and dark, trying to say where we find that you got to take your light into the darkness. It doesn't. In fact, it tells us they are to be separated.
What I'm trying to get at, what I'm really trying to get to is, we're talking Hollywood. Like when we go to a party, we already know we're going to a party. We know what's up.
You go to Hollywood,
but I'm saying in Hollywood, no. In Hollywood, it's different. And like I come from the same generation. You probably went to some crazy parties in our, like, we was the first ones on the internet. We know how to get weird when it's time to.
We had bonfires.
Our generation, like, is all the wild stuff you can think of. It's like times 15 in Hollywood. It's just gonna be way worse. But you also got, everybody got an entourage. They got security. They all got their studios. They got big cribs. They used to having people around, not all the time. It's kind of, it's like a very thin line between having people over and a straight up party. And then I feel like people just don't understand that. Especially like younger people, like they'll show up, and some dudes hanging out, whatever, you're listening to the track or network or whatever you do. I don't want to make that the sin. I don't want to make that the thing that went wrong. It's one lying, like, you're not just there to network, because that's a lie. Like, that's what you're there for. So just admit to it. But then once it starts, dude got a warning, like you said at the beginning of this broadcast. He got a warning. Hey, around 1:30 it's gonna get weird. That was your warning. And like, other people don't get a warning. Sometimes you just come out of the bathroom and it's already too late.
That's mercy, bro. Like, if you
like
got
I'm really going out on the plane here.
Like, yo, hey dog, you need to get up out of here. Like, and I'm pretty sure we've all had situations where God used someone else who maybe wasn't even saved to look out for us. Going like, but dog, if a sinner tell you, hey man, you need to take the little bit of righteousness you got left and ride up out of here, because it's about to get off the chain. You don't, why stick around, dog? Like, you're offended by the fact that, so again, to me, that says so much about God not sending you to that space, because you get a warning and you still stick around. And not only you're offended and that you got a warning, that somebody thought enough of what you bring to the table to tell you, yo, you need to take that out of here. Really? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. There's a lot of things that you let dangle in the wind. A lot of other people that you let dangle in the wind when you only thinking about yourself. And that's the same thing for all of us. So we talk about stuff like being spiritually immature, what have you. When we're not thinking about other people, we're not thinking about how God feels about certain things. We're not thinking about the impact, the effect, the optics, all of that. That's a very immature stance and position to have.
Yeah, man. Jay, what we missing, man?
And earlier this week, me and Katie were talking about how it seemed like God wouldn't send a person who really wants to be somebody in that crowd to reach that crowd. Like, usually it's somebody who's, it's like, that's not really all that special to them. Like, they're like, God, you want me to go talk to who? You want me to do, like, what? The Diddy party? I don't even like them people. Like, it's not going to be the guy who, like, wow, I get to go hang out with Diddy. Like, I don't think that God would send that person, because he's already set up to fall.
I mean, especially hearing what some of these people are saying. Like, dude, that Mike Tyson comment that I saw, I was like, bro, if he's saying
I
that
missed
to
the Mike Tyson comment.
Did you guys see that?
I missed that.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I have to go back and remember where I saw it, but I saw something like where, like when Mike Tyson was like broke, that like Diddy was like, yo, I'll help you out here, but you gotta do this. I'm just saying, man.
Bro, I've seen clips where like you got 50 online talking about some Diddy try to take him shopping.
Oh yeah,
Like y'all seen that?
he's known for that. Yeah,
Bro, like for real, like you trying
he
to
said
take
that to a couple of
dude.
rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you
man.
got what's the kid's name? Orlando, the Orlando kid. He
Oh,
was
the
like
child
oh,
actor.
Disney,
Yeah,
yeah. And when you talk about and you mention Diddy to him, dude, like the response that like the dude just like manifests on camera, man. He started licking his lips and everything when you mentioned Diddy, man. And then he talk about how good Diddy was to him and all this other stuff. I mean, you got people like us here talking about Diddy camp and all of this other stuff when you growing up and, you know, we waking up in the bed with Diddy in the morning and all of the, yep, there you go. Thanks, Eleanor. You got all of this stuff going on. Like this dude, man, like, yo, so why go be around that? Did y'all pray about it? You said you don't play tug of
Oh,
war.
I didn't know that was the
Did
reputation.
bro, come on, man. You
It-
see these
it-
videos with him and Justin Bieber,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
like
he
Caesar's
do.
Palace, bro.
Why? Why put yourself in that? Your posse, your Phillies. You said you don't go nowhere by yourself. You always show up with friends, et cetera, et cetera. Did y'all pray? Like, dog, hey man, let's have a word of prayer before you just take this invite because you are amazed at the fact that you got this invite. And as quickly as he said networking, he just as quickly said, dog, yeah, I was starstruck because I was like, yo, I get to be in the room with these people.
Yeah.
Witness out the
He
door,
said he
bro.
wanted like the acceptance, right? So, I must say
Admitted
this
that
whole
he
thing,
struggled with acceptance.
this whole thing gives a
That's not
different
news
view
though,
to,
right?
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop for me. I'm just saying that.
That sounds like KB and what's his name?
What?
What's that song? What's that song? Is it with it's KB and what's his name? They did I feel like Diddy. You know what I'm talking about?
Was Swoop?
Yeah, with Swoop.
Yeah,
Oh no, I don't.
that's an oldie.
You don't know that song with Swoop and KB? He
I don't guess
said,
I remember that.
I think
okay.
the state, man. That's what he talking about.
Yeah. So, but hey, do me a favor if you're hanging out with us on YouTube while you're here, add the Fresh Picks playlist to your YouTube library. Add it to the library on YouTube Music. This is where we add the latest music submissions sent to 520 Collective. You can go to 520collective.com/fresh picks now to get that added to your library, man. So make sure you do that. Again, we're on the road to 500 subscribers. Help us out with that,
Let's do
man.
it. Tell a
So
friend to
what
tell a
we-
friend.
Okay. Oh yeah. They said even Fabulous declined to party with Diddy.
Yeah. It was on Drink Champs.
Mm.
There's a reason for it, man. But dude, so okay, earlier this
It was an
week,
awkward moment too.
yeah.
Diddy pulled up to the table and was like, "How come you never let me take you out shopping?" And he's like,
'Cause I don't want you to.
You ain't finna put your hand in my back pocket. We don't roll like that.
right.
So earlier this week, KD shared a I think it's an Instagram post with us in our chat, and you guys can see it. I know Zero put it up on our Facebook feed, and it's funny, man. It's funny. It's a joke, but it started leading into a kind of deeper conversation that we were like, "Yo, we should talk about this." So, Katie, I'm gonna let you kind of set this up for us, man. Go for it.
Oh man. All right, yo, I honestly wish we could play this right now. One, because I could use the laugh. But so it's this cat, man, and I'm pretty sure y'all seen it. Where he got his Bible in his hand and he's spitting his verse and he talking about the devil roll up on me. I'ma hit him with the fop. And then this figure in black, this demon, this spirit pops up. Like, what that mean? What that mean, Christian man? Fop. You gonna hit me with the fop? And now that he getting challenged and checked about all the trash he was talking on his verse, he starts stuttering. He like the demon like, what's wrong with your speech? You sound like Moses. I mean, he just started coming at him, and we started talking about spiritual authority and stuff like that. Like, it's been a joke, I guess, for a long time when people talk about, yo, I'm gonna put caps in the devil and he gonna run up, I'm gonna chin check him, and you know what I'm saying, haymakers and jawbreakers. And it's
That sound like gritty CHH.
bro.
Right. Well, it's been part of Christian rap for a long time, right?
That's what that sound like.
Yeah, but it's like it's not realistic, and that's the
Right.
unfortunate part. So like that clip is super funny, but it really, because when you get checked and challenged spiritually by the entities that you are talking about are subject to you, but according to the natural, like dog, these same spirits are the ones that's got you on the outs with your spouse, got you finances messed up, you're barely hanging on by a thread. Like these are different demonic forces. And so to sit up here and say, man, I'm gonna put two of them on the devil, I'm gonna empty a clip on them, but then the enemy is running up the front and down the back of you, like dog, like let's be serious. Like we wrestle not against flesh and blood. If we were to really put the emphasis where it's supposed to be, the music, the space would be in a different place. And so it's just really telling that.
Don't leave the best part out.
Which one, bro? When he asked when the song was coming out?
Right. As soon as the devil left, he was crying.
He back to
changed his
a
tune.
different idea for
He went back and got him a worship record. Like Lord,
all his street clothes are gone. He's not a rapper no more.
He got back to it. Like, yeah.
He's like, Jesus, I need you.
He was like, Jesus, I need you. Oh, there was a demon. Oh, it was a demon. I wish I could pull it up.
I gotta see this.
You gotta see it, bro, because it's ridiculously funny.
I'm gonna send y'all the link if I can find it.
It's telling though. Like it doesn't make sense to sit up here and talk about stuff spiritually like you don't do. It's almost as bad as being a studio gangster. Like, fam, you don't check the enemy like that because you got other stuff going on in your life. And if that's the case, then that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, I think so. This is something I noticed reading the New Testament, and it took a long time for it to kind of dawn on me that if you read the stories of Jesus and his miracles, Jesus cast out a lot of demons. Something interesting is that you never, at least that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember one story where Jesus went looking for a demon. He's like, I'm going to go find a demon to cast out. He always would cast out the ones that came to him. And so when it comes to like demonic warfare, my mindset is kind of don't ever go looking for a fight, but always be ready for one. Because the same thing in the New Testament, the apostles never went looking for demons to cast out. There was a group of people who did, and you guys probably know what happened to them in that story. So this whole mindset where I'm going to go, I'm gonna go, whatever you're saying, empty clips on the devil or whatever it is. We're not meant to go looking for a fight. We're meant to be prepared for a fight. And so that's kind of the way that I look at all of this stuff.
Joe said that like he's never pulled out his 66 clip.
Not on the
Bro,
devil.
I thought you was a Pentecostal. I thought you was Pentecostal.
Nah, when I see a demon, I just start falling on the floor and rolling around.
Playing dead. Don't do that.
No, not playing dead. That was a Pentecostal joke.
That's something else, bro. That's New Apostolic.
Don't. There's a difference from deliverance ministries, man. Stop playing.
That's not Christian. What? Talk to us, man. What do you think? Are we out here killing demons?
I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
Well,
Right.
that's my question is like, is that even something possible, dude?
I mean, you know how it is.
I don't know.
with
They turned into a very marketable video game called Doom.
Is that what Doom's about?
I got the video here. I think it's this one that you guys are talking about. Just trying to figure out how to actually put it on
I'm
screen.
trying to pull it up. My network's too slow.
maybe Eric, you can
It's,
help
it's
out
next
here.
to the camera icon where it says screen share.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. Oh, it just went away. I have it pulled up.
Or if you send the link to Eric, he could put it up.
Yeah, I put it in the private
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
I'll try it. I
Yeah.
know when I
Yeah.
tried videos in the past, it's been hit or miss. Here,
Yeah.
we'll try it. You guys talk amongst yourself for a second.
I have it pulled up. But anyway, yeah, I mean, if you want to slap a demon and you want to, shoot demons or whatever,
Good luck with that, right? I mean,
it's what you.
I feel like anybody bragging about that stuff clearly hasn't been in that situation. Because my grandparents had a deliverance ministry, and it's not fun. It's not funny. It's not something you go looking for, like Joe said.
Facts.
yeah, I seen some wild stuff. Like early on in my walk, I was heavily involved in like street ministry and witnessing to people on buses and stuff like that. And I seen some bugged out stuff. Not once did I think about slapping a demon, or body slamming a demon, suplexing a demon, hitting the demon with a chair. Like that it just wasn't a thought. You know? I mean, hey, there's ministries out here training people how to cast out demons, so I'm not surprised,
It's like a combination of scary and sad when you see it. Because it's like, this is a person.
There he is.
Hold on, let me shut up.
I just want to confirm if that's the video or not.
Yep, that's it, bro.
Yeah, that's the one.
You gotta
notice the
let's
aluminum
unmute
foil cross around the neck, though. Pay attention to the detail.
Let's see if this can work here.
He forgot I was a
This dude
Christian.
deserves a
Ha
sticker.
ha. If a demon pulled up,
Can y'all hear this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
get that fuck. Oh, what that mean? What that mean? What fuck mean? Don't get scared now. Don't get scared now, Christian man. When that song drop?
When that song drop it.
Something wrong with your speaker? You sound like Moses. A courage to cowardly dog or something. When the song drop? February 2nd. All right. I'll wait till then to see if you really gonna stand on business. I like the song. Somebody get sturdy too down here. I think I got a new song in mind. God, I need you. It was a demon. God, I need you. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's the best.
Favorite rapper. Right.
man, better than JJ.
You should put that on the playlist.
Bro.
Oh man, dude, it's fun. It's fun, So, but yeah, man. Jimmy, talk to us, man. What's been going on with That's Not Christian? I know it's been a minute since we hung out.
I'm waiting on Jay to respond. I guess he's not responding.
He asked you, bro. I was waiting.
Jay, Jimmy.
Yeah, he said Jay Jimmy.
Someone got take
y-
charge.
we just came back from a hiatus. I took the holidays off. As soon as Thanksgiving hits, I'm off for the rest of the year, man.
Not approved,
You know
by the
what I mean?
way.
I'm on sabbatical. You know what I mean? I'm on sabbatical, so we just came back. We had to switch some days around, so we're going live now on Wednesdays. So make sure you tune in 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. The whole squad is there. We're looking to branch out a little more this year, and Jay's kind of spearheading that. I'll let him talk about some of the things we have in store and we're trying out.
Well, yeah. So we're planning on. Well, I mean, this is the first, so you guys have the exclusive. We are planning to introduce two new shows, different people, under TNC. So we'll see how that goes. We're still in the planning stages, and hopefully we're able to launch both of them sometime this year. And of course, I mean, to find out if we will or not, follow us everywhere you get podcasts. It'll be a live show or it might be pre-recorded, depending on each show. But I think it's something that we need in the space to talk about, and it's pretty exciting. So we'll see. Yeah, it'll be in addition to obviously our regular live show, which we move on Wednesdays, and then we will also want to do things like this on Mondays, whether it be myself or Jimmy or both of us or one of us, but we'll do different things. Even I think 2 Fridays ago, I went live just to react on like some new music that came out, but just try different things and pretty much any up the content machine. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it.
Content heavy.
Yeah.
I noticed that
So is this
were-
like
you and Zero.
What?
go ahead, man.
I was just say I noticed that I think it was sometime last year we were able to hop on you guys' show, and you haven't invited us back since. Like,
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, you can forget about that.
Bro, your straight
Yeah,
face
man.
dead man is crazy. Hey, he like, nah.
Hey, but I got a sound bite from you when we were on there, and I added that bad boy to the end of our radio show. So you better believe it.
No, man. We're always open to having guests. Like anytime anybody has reached out to us, we usually have them on if we have some kind of relationship. You know what I mean? Because I also don't like cats who are like, "Hey, let me come on your show. I got a hot mixtape coming." You know what I mean? It's like, bro, you in there? You don't even follow us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we like to network with people. When we first came on the scene, a lot of people showed us love. Ruslan showed us love. The crew showed us love. You know what I mean? So we like to extend that same type of love to other podcasters and other Christians in the space who are creatives, and we enjoy sharing our platform. Because our podcast is a little bit different. We like to joke around. It's not it's a lot more casual, and so we like to do that because it allows the artists and the creatives who come onto our space to be themselves, and that way the viewers, right, can see a different side of them, and see how they think and how they process things going on in the news or in culture or whatnot.
So,
Yeah, man, love it.
And y'all have an actual audio stream where everybody else just got a YouTube show. They know how to do it right.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that we'll be adding to as well as like these other platforms that are slowly starting up right now to kind of be a competitor to YouTube, especially within the censorship, right, that we've seen throughout these last couple of years.
Oh, Zero knows.
Oh, definitely, he does know. So, we've been streaming on Rumble for a while, so we're gonna be moving as well and adding the Kick platform and some other platforms too that I was made aware that are like they're startups, but I think it's definitely good to be on these places where we have the ability to share our thoughts and opinions without being um, you know demonetized, or I mean it's not even about the money or anything, but just to be able to share our thoughts and opinions freely. It's super important to all of us.
Yeah, man. You guys looking forward to this election season? I know you guys get into politics on your show.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll definitely bring in raise some eyebrows and like, oh my gosh, not this again. So it should be interesting. Um, yeah, yeah. I think even the major news networks know it's definitely going to be interesting. So I'm sure they're licking their chops, ready for something to happen.
Who are you voting for, Jay?
So this time around, I'll be transparent, right? I said this on my show. The last time I did vote for
joke, but it's fine.
no, we're gonna get into it. I did vote for the Orange Man. But this time around, if it indeed, and it looks like it will be, it's gonna be, the old man and the Orange Man again. I think I'm gonna have to sit this one out, because I don't want either of them. So I think they're old, and we just need some fresh new people,
You know what I tell my students, man.
What do you tell students?
Is, hey, if you don't vote though, you don't get to complain.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
I mean, there's more than two choices. I mean, you can write a name in.
I mean, who's running for the Libertarian spot? Oh, well, you write a name. Well, you want me to write Kanye? What you want me to write?
Yeah,
Eric?
do it. Yeah, The Rock.
And then you can complain. You're writing Kanye, and then you can complain.
Man. It's cool. Yeah, man. Joe, what's happening over on your channels, man?
Well, I just finished shooting my next Joe Fay video, so I'm going to be working on that one. Probably one of the crazier videos I've done. Zero commented on one of my videos, and he said it was the most irresponsible thing he's ever done that he's ever seen. So definitely this next video is going to surpass that by a wide margin.
Let's go.
Monastery, try to
put a microwave inside of a microwave.
What?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I heard you like microwaves, dog.
Yeah, I bought like 5 microwaves so I can just put every single one of them. I microwave a propane cylinder inside of that thing, man.
And this will be the last time that Joe's ever.
It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch.
Oh yeah. It's definitely worth the watch. It's a little surreal, if that's the term, but it's worth the watch. Monastery trying to get some content rolling for this year. I've shot a video that I think I'll be posting soon, talking about another Christian video game that's coming up. So definitely got some like video game and movie themed videos planned for that channel. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's pretty exciting. There's actually a lot of Christian entertainment lined up for this year. So as long as half of it doesn't get canceled, then we'll be good. We'll have a good lineup this year.
That's what's up, man. Well, y'all already know, man.
Yeah.
Doors always open for y'all to slide through on a Monday night with the fellas. Right, Zero? Is Zero frozen?
Yeah, I'm particularly quiet because my network is trash right now. I'm gonna have to watch the replay.
My man just bolted from sitting back to forward like the Flash.
All right, he did that. He really did that.
I was gonna try to give him a chance to say something, but forget it. Katie, what's up, man? What do you want to say before we out here?
I'm barely able to follow this conversation.
Sorry, bro. I just, Zero's on tape delay today. It's all good, man. Throwback.
He's streaming from the moon.
Nah, it was a good convo, man. Always good to have the guys from That's Not Christian slide through and out with us, man. Appreciate y'all. Man, again, if a trainer could build a better body, then we can have these conversations, man, to make the body better. So, that's it. That's all, man. Y'all, keep coming around, bro. We're not gonna sugarcoat anything. We're gonna keep it scripture, man, because that's the same standard for everybody. So, that's it, man. Love y'all. Appreciate everybody in the chats. LNF, you been lurking back there talking about this MAGA country. I hear you, bro. Jay said he not voting for the sunset this year. I feel that. It is what it is, y'all. We just gonna keep everybody. Man, we gonna keep it moving, man. But dope convo. Great way to open the show tonight, Eric. Yeah, we need to let Eric off the chain just a little bit more often. So I'm pretty sure that 10 Things I Hate About 520 by Lecrae episode is coming soon. And when it does happen, he's probably not even gonna tag the site. But it is what it is, y'all.
And I tried to hold back, man. I tried to hold back as much as I could because when we were talking about this stuff this week, man, I was feeling it. I was passionate.
Really?
For a little bit. I tried to keep it under control for y'all because I didn't want it.
Somebody leaked the chat. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see what was going on over there. That's
Oh,
that's
well,
that's some viral stuff over there.
some phone call. Well, like I said, man. I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I truly want Lecrae to be successful in the position he's in, man, as a leader. You know, not only
Yeah.
uh, in Christian rap and Christian hip hop, but I mean Christian music across the board. I mean, obviously he just
Right.
won a CCM Grammy, so that's cool, I guess.
Mhm.
But it's hard to do that, man, when you're saying things that are just not rooted scripturally, and that's what we're trying to do here, man. Not call out people, not make them look bad,
Mhm.
like, because at the end of the day, it's not even necessarily just about or only about Lecrae, right? Lecrae is not the only one that says some of these things, and those are the things that we need to address. It's not let's address Lecrae. Let's address this thought, right? Because there's more people that have it. And when we talk about indie Christian culture, we're talking faith going beyond the mainstream because it's deeper, it's realer than we try to make it. We talked last week about what's your purpose with being in the faith? Is it that it's useful for monetary gain, or it's useful to raise your status, or are you doing this because it's real, it means something to you, and you're willing to earnestly defend it, right? So that's what I hope, man. But for real, like Katie said, man, 520 iXc, we're gonna be here Mondays, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So slide through with us, man. We appreciate y'all. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our Substack newsletter. You see it on the screen right there, 520club.com/Substack. You can get new updates right to your inbox. We're going to start sending out a weekly reminder to go along with the show. So you can get that delivered if you happen to miss the show. Boom, it's right there waiting for you in your inbox. So make sure you do that, man. And if you really, if you appreciate what we're doing, you want to see us keep going with it, right? Grow and improve, man. Obviously, you can join as a free subscriber, but consider being a paid subscriber, because that'll put back into the show. It'll help us take it further. And you can be a producer. We'll give you producer credits if you do that. So that would be awesome if you would do that for us. Again, subscribe on YouTube. Help us hit 500 subscribers. But yeah, man, love y'all. Oh, James, come on, man. Let's.
Facts. I said that earlier before we jumped on tonight. I told him.
It's just it's the same.
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised. I like the setup from the previous setup you had.
Dude, it's all the same. I just added 2 Logitech Lecrae glow lights.
Oh, that's all. Yeah,
that's all I did.
Product placement.
That's right. It's like sound like he's sponsored.
I wish Logitech. Right? I've got almost all my peripherals are Logitech. So if Logitech wants to hit me up, man, I'll wear a shirt or something for you. Okay.
Let's go.
Before we networking.
There you go.
They might have you go to the Diddy party with a Logitech t-shirt. That sponsorship.
Elgato, I'm here. If you...
I don't think Logitech wants that sponsorship.
Before we end the stream, we do this thing at the end of our show. It's the word of the day, and today's word of the day is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So, as Eric said, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to them, and if this is your first time, subscribe to That's Not Christian and 520. And
don't subscribe to That's Not Christian unless you subscribe to us as well. Okay.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Make sure you go over there first. Yeah, both. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, LNF.
LNF is cooking.
Eric takes out.
Hey, that mean Eric holding out,
Drew, what's up,
bro.
man?
What you got?
That's right. All right.
Yeah, we're about to get out of here, man. For
All right.
my guys, Zero for Hire, Katie the Vessel. It is Eric Boston. This has been 520 iXc. We'll see y'all next week. Let's go.
Peace.
Peace.